Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to whatever this is. This is, of course, 22W13 one block at a time, which we're exploring all of this week just to have some wacky fun with the April Fool's Snapshot and maybe, on occasion, push the boundaries of what is possible, as we did yesterday with our pretty impressive single block pumpkin storage system and single block basically everything else storage system as well, because we're just going to be storing blocks in little areas like this, which I'll probably do a bit more work on today. I think the idea is that we're going to have some storage silos set up. I did find a sapling in one of the village chests, which is pretty much the only way you can get hold of saplings, so I'm excited to see if this tree grows into a tall tree, which I kind of want it to. I've been, adding in some blocks next door to make sure that it grows to at least a specific height, and I think what we're going to do today is try and work on acquiring some other resources and then going to the Nether. I think the first half of the video I'm going to try and make a cobblestone generator, which is easy to do in one place, but more difficult to do if we need to have it travel anywhere. Because, of course, I don't just want to be able to get hold of cobblestone. I want cobblestone to be stored in one of these silos like this, and preferably somewhere close to what is going to be our main storage system. And the only way we can get hold of cobblestone right now, really, is to generate it using a traditional lava and water cobblestone generator. The problem is, lava is very difficult to transport in this snapshot because we can't really use buckets on it in the same way, or at least you can't use a bucket on a lava source. We attempted to do this during the original live stream that we did back on April 1st, and it turns out that lava just doesn't go in buckets, or rather that the buckets end up being thrown at lava sources. Now, I'm going to try this myself just for the purposes of, being scientific about it and actually demonstrating that you can't do it before I go with our backup method, which I have a feeling is going to work a little better. Oh, and there's a bone from a skeleton here. So I haven't actually got hold of any bone meal yet, and I'm pretty sure that the composter doesn't work. So I'm going to use this bone to break down into bone meal, and maybe we can use that to grow a couple of things sooner or later. But in order to make a bucket, of course, we're going to need 3 pieces of iron, 2 of which I can carry with me right now, and the other one is probably going to have to wait. I still need to do a little bit of tidying around here, but for now at least we can make a bucket. Let's throw that grass block over there. Yeah, because there's campfires everywhere. I keep just treading on stuff. So let's put 1 bucket piece there, 1 there, and hopefully if we stand in the right direction, which is increasingly difficult to do around here, we should be able to make 3 buckets. There we go. So we have 3 attempts at what we're doing today. So back over here at our lava lake, which has incidentally smelted some of the blocks around it and turned them into smooth stone, which I absolutely love. Let's see if we can... Yep, unfortunately, we just end up placing a bucket on the lava source block. We also can't throw the bucket into the lava because that basically has the same effect. It goes yeet, and then it just kind of settles in there. So my plan is to bring a cauldron over from the village where we had a couple of cauldrons attached to the leatherworker professions. We're going to find some dripstone and some pointed dripstone, and we're going to fill a cauldron with lava and see if we can get a bucket of lava out of that. And then in theory we have a lava source that we can take more or less anywhere. The difficulty though is going to be finding the dripstone in the first place, because that means we're going to have to go caving. I'll do a bit of exploring first to see if I can find a surface level dripstone cave, but beyond that we may have to do a bit of spelunking, and that thought kind of terrifies me, to be honest. Yes, incredible. In a fairly shallow cave over here, I found a patch of dripstone. So all we should need to do is bring 1 piece of pointed dripstone and 1 block of dripstone. So I'm going to put that in my offhand, going to take the time to break the block of dripstone, and hopefully no mobs sneak up on me while I'm doing this. Fantastic, we've got what we need. Now we should be able to position this underneath that lava lake with a cauldron below it, and if the mechanics still work from vanilla Minecraft, we might be able to fill a cauldron with lava and get ourselves a lava bucket. The egging is getting a little bit catastrophic at this point. The egging has reached like world-ending event levels. I'm slightly worried about the eggs, but since they're not item entities, I mean, hopefully they're not creating any lag? Question mark? We'll have to find out, I guess. I'm just saying we might have to outlaw chickens at a certain point in this. So back here at the lava lake, we're actually going to have to put down one of our dripstone pieces. I think the pointed dripstone is going to be for the better, and we'll actually retrieve the bucket since it hasn't been burnt up by the lava at all. Thankfully, we should be able to reuse that. We're going to dig down underneath this lava, which it seems like there is stone underneath, of course, because that's how stone generates around these things, but hopefully we should be able to replace this block of stone here with the dripstone block that I've got in my offhand. There we go, we can see the lava drips coming from it. This block here, and hopefully next to this on either side, there is going to be something that I can place the dripstone against. Otherwise, I'm going to have to back out of here pretty quickly. Swap this to our offhand, and yes, okay, that's in place. Now we should be able to put the pointed dripstone down here and use it to farm lava. Yes, okay, the pointed dripstone is dripping. We need to remove this block so that we can place a cauldron underneath it. But then hopefully, hopefully, we should be able to get a lava source working in this cauldron. Unfortunately, I threw all of those cauldrons into the little lake here because the villagers were insisting on becoming leather workers a lot of the time. So I'm going to use a bit of an old school trick. We're going to plant 2 sugarcane here to give me an air pocket, and hopefully I should be able to target. Yes, there we go. We can target the cauldron down here. Otherwise, this would take absolutely ages to mine without tools. Hey, our big tall tree grew. Oh, fantastic. That was the kind of tree I wanted as well. We're going to decorate this at some point. We're going to turn that into a custom tree. Okay, let's throw down the cauldron underneath here, and it is empty. I was worried that we'd end up with a full cauldron of water because that's what I was bringing with me from the other place. Well, hopefully, in time, this should fill up with lava, and at that point, we'll be able to test whether or not my theory is correct. Oh, wow, that happened really fast. Okay, I was expecting that to take a lot longer. Well, now I guess we get to test my theory about whether or not, yes, we've got a bucket of lava. Okay, this actually works. We can have a bucket of lava. We can get the hot stuff advancement. This also means that we can now move our lava generator to somewhere a little bit closer to town, and if I bring a few more blocks of dripstone back, or even maybe farm them, it might take a little longer than that, but we should hopefully be able to set up a lava generator with a bunch of cauldrons. It's just occurred to me that I don't know whether or not I can put this bucket of lava down without it turning into a source of lava. That's a minor concern for me right now, so I think what we're going to do is set up an area over here, which, even if it has to be temporary, can be like a cobblestone generator if we need it to. So let's put the bucket down there. Okay, we can place the bucket as a sprite. But if we wanted to have a cobblestone generator, this would basically be the minimum setup, right? Lava on this side, water on that side. And I don't know for certain if we can get water using these buckets. Let's give that a try. Well, we just yeet the bucket, that is one option. But if we can get lava from cauldrons, then it makes sense that we can get water from cauldrons as well, which is pretty fantastic. So water on this side, lava on that side. That's going to be our cobblestone generator, and then we'll just be able to mine it and then throw it into a storage silo nearby that we can use, maybe even to speed up the building work on our house. But in the meantime, I think I need to go back to that dripstone cave area and bring a bit more dripstone back so we can start farming lava in larger quantities. Hey folks, welcome back. So, bit of an update because I've been doing a fair amount of stuff in between clips here. We have a full 5 cauldrons all filling up with lava at this point, which means we're going to be able to start our cobblestone generator. But I also had an idea. What if we were able to get wood and cobblestone farmed pretty successfully as well? It occurred to me while I was looking around for saplings, which, by the way, you really don't get a great deal of. I was only able to find one other spruce sapling in that tiger village in one of the chests, but I figured there was a lush cave around that area. I saw a couple of azalea trees and thought, why not bring back a bit of moss? Because by spreading moss, we end up with azaleas, which are technically more like blocks than they are like saplings, so the game is going to offer them a little bit more frequently, and we don't have to worry about them dropping from leaves because we can get them from bone mealing the moss itself. And as you can see, that worked out pretty well. So we now have a tree type that we can farm basically anywhere without having to be really close to a forest in order to harvest a bit more wood. And I did also bring back a few glow vines, whatever they're called, cave vines for glow berries, but I don't really think these are going to be all that worthwhile. But with lava being farmed over here and wood over here, it's probably time for us to start our cobblestone generator. And I think we actually have a shot at automating this in ways that we can't automate it in vanilla Minecraft, in normal Minecraft. So I think we're going to give it a go. The first thing I will need to do is gather a few supplies from over here. We're going to craft ourselves some pistons. It's been a while since I've had to craft a piston manually. I usually just end up using the recipe book, but it's redstone there, iron there, cobblestone either side, and then wood across the top. Yeah, I think that's how it works. So let's craft 2 planks. We've got the third one actually stacked up over here. I'm going to punch out a little bit of cobblestone from the foundations of this house. It won't take too long doing this by hand, and making tools is, I think, more trouble than it's worth at this stage. So this should, in theory, be the recipe for a piston. Now, all we need to do is probably actually set up some guide blocks to make sure I can throw this into the right place, because I don't want to end up crafting anything else by accident. But if we put the 2 grass blocks there, and then we throw this into the middle, like so. Yes, we get 9 pistons. Of course we do, because we're using 9 blocks in order to get hold of all of them. Fantastic. That's a piston for an automated cobblestone generator. So let's say we have the piston here, right? We want the cobblestone to all be coming out of the machine this way. We'll need a redstone torch for this as well, so that we can make an automatic smart piston setup. But if we do this, yep, we get some redstone torches. Very good. We might need the other one a bit later as well. We'll put our redstone torch there, and now we'll need to create a waterlogged stair above this whole thing, because that's the way we'll be able to make sure that the lava and the water can interact here while still running a circuit of redstone to the piston. And we're going to leave our other torch, let's say, here. While I think about it, I'm also going to make a lever for this, because one of the most important things about this cobblestone generator is that we have a means to turn it off. Just got to throw that up there, and yes, there we go. We got ourselves a lever. Fantastic. And let's make sure we'll put this one here. That way we can activate the piston. And pistons do seem to work the way we're used to them working. So, for example, if I put some wool here, I push it with a piston, it's still going to snap to the grid, right? It doesn't do anything wacky. It doesn't convert it into a gravity block or anything. But that is the role given to one other specific redstone component, the dispenser. We'll come back to dispensers in a second. For now, we need to set up our smart piston over here so that we can have some redstone dust right there. With a block there, it should activate the piston. So yes, anytime any blocks get generated on top of this redstone torch, bam, there we go. Simple cobblestone generator circuit. We just have to have the lava here and the water above it on top. For that, we'll need a waterlogged stair made out of a stone type material, and I'm going to be using bricks because I can easily trade them from my stonemason, but he's now selling me all kinds of other blocks as well. So if we wanted to make these out of quartz, then we could. We can get a bunch of different terracotta from him as well. In fact, the best way I've found of cycling through their trades is to keep something else in your offhand so that you can swap between them like this, and that actually allows you to cycle through their trades a lot faster than just waiting for them to do it. But this guy's got a lot of different trades right now, so bricks might be a little awkward. Wait a second. Did I just see what I thought I saw? I think this guy trades me TNT now? Oh, come on, come on. He's holding out on me. Where's that TNT, buddy? Yes, I knew he had it. He's got some TNT. This opens up so many possibilities. All right, well, let's leave this here for now. We'll probably maybe leave that somewhere away from the fire, because TNT has some really interesting properties in this update. Explosions in general do. We'll get to that. I need to get some guide blocks in here again to make sure I throw the bricks at the right angle, and there we go. Cool, we got some brick stairs. Fantastic. Now I just got to mine these, which is going to take forever. And then we're going to place our bricks there, facing that way. We're going to block them off on all 3 sides, but we need to make sure that this stair block is waterlogged first, and that's not something we can do just with a standard bucket of water approach. So either side of our stair block here, on 2 opposite corners or opposite sides, we're going to put 2 different water sources so that they combine in the center, turning this stair into a waterlogged stair by combining the water sources. Now, we're not going to do that with buckets because, of course, we have to fill up a cauldron with water to get a bucket, but there are other ways of getting water sources. Because if I swim down here and grab a bit of seagrass, if you throw some seagrass onto a block on the surface, it takes the water source with it. And then I can plant some seagrass in here to get another water source, get rid of the other seagrass water source, and we should be able to do the same thing on this opposite side here once I've got some guide blocks in to make the throwing process a little easier. So it looks like the brick stairs won't waterlog until a water source block has filled up this space, at which point if we place it in the water source, then it should be fine. So maybe we could have done that just with 1 piece of seagrass, but either way, there we go. Now it's fully waterlogged, and now we can close this entire thing off. We'll also need to replace the redstone torch because it got washed away and destroyed earlier, and since it can't drop as an item entity, it just disappeared from existence. So now comes the difficult part of this, because we need to throw a lava bucket into this block here so that the lava can flow sideways and make contact with this waterlogged stair, which will create cobblestone right there. We need to be able to do this from an angle so that we can make sure that it gets thrown into that corner more precisely. Otherwise, it's going to unleash lava everywhere, because the way we place lava sources in this is, of course, not just by placing the bucket down. We have to throw it. Throwing a bucket of lava or a bucket of water will create the source block, so we'll have to be very careful about this, but I think if I've lined up the shot correctly, we should be able to do this. Yeah, that's not going to work out, is it? Unfortunately, no. Throwing these buckets into such small spaces is really not very easy, but hopefully we got a couple more tries at this. I'm going to try this one more time because that's how many buckets I have, but if we don't get to do this, then chances are I might be able to come up with another solution. Hup. Yes, okay, we've got it. And now, yes, it's forming cobblestone. Fantastic. All right. Now we should just be able to replace the redstone torch there, and this will function as a cobblestone generator. In the meantime, we can do it manually, and it does work. Incredible. Oh, that was a good shot. And it only took me 5 tries to get it right. Okay, redstone torch going into place. Yes. Yes, amazing. We have a cobblestone generator, and this thing is going to produce cobblestone much faster than we can mine it, because we have to mine it with our hands. Otherwise, we make tools, they end up breaking with one hit. There is a solution to this, and it's a good thing that we now have a cobblestone generator, because it's going to rely on us making something else out of cobblestone. We need to craft a dispenser. And honestly, I am praying that this works, because I haven't tried crafting any recipes in a situation where the crafting table is not the central block. But people have been telling me it does work, and if we put some string either side of the crafting table here and then throw one string into the center with our 3 sticks out to the side like that, we should be able to craft a bow. And I have been stockpiling a bit of string from fighting spiders out on the plains when I can find it, because it always drops as tripwire, and that is really hard to see. But if we throw in this last piece of string, yes! Oh, incredible, we have bows! Yes, amazing. Okay, that was going to be the hardest part of crafting a dispenser. It's going to have to go in the middle of our dispenser recipe here, but 1 redstone, cobblestone all around, and a bow, that should work. And of course, the coolest part is it gave us 6 bows from the crafting recipe, so we can actually make like 6 dispensers, which is good, because dispensers are going to be pretty OP for what I have in mind. So we'll put the last 2 cobblestone in place here. We'll move our guide blocks in so that we can accurately throw a bow into the center of this. We'll grab 1 redstone dust from here. We should be able to craft 9 dispensers this way, because of course we're putting 9 blocks into the crafting recipe. Let's throw that bow. Amazing. Well, dispensers, as we have learned, do something pretty spectacular in this. They will actually throw blocks that are placed in front of them, and there are many ways we can use this, not the least for some automatic crafting. And I think we'll get into that in the near future, but in the meantime, we can place our dispenser here, and once the cobblestone that it's generated gets put in front of this dispenser, let's give you guys a quick example here as I flip the lever. I'll probably need to go to sleep in a second, but you guys need to see this. There we go, it gets thrown. It gets thrown by the dispenser. I need to turn this off before it completely overwhelms itself here. And you know what that means, folks? If it gets thrown, we can store it as a falling block. We can actually set up some cobblestone here that we can just grab from like this without having to worry at all about having to mine it with our hands or it having any collision. We can effectively store our entire cobblestone supply like this. Not only that, but dispensers give us a system where we can place the blocks in front of the dispensers and they'll automatically get stored in perfect alignment with the block grid. Like, honestly, that cobblestone block looks like it could be there, with the exception that it's offset by 1 pixel and Z-bashing slightly with the block behind it. But that is absolutely incredible, and it gives us a way we can store these items back in their places if we pick up too many of them or we want to put any away. So let's say, for example, that we want to store some wood from our wood farm, which we're going to have pretty soon because we've got the azalea tree farm on the go now. All I need to do is set up a dispenser with a redstone torch in front of it, and putting a block in front of the dispenser is going to push it over into the place we're storing them. You folks want to know the best part about this? Because I'm not done. Oh boy, I am not done. Let's say we buy a little bit more glowstone and redstone from our friend the cleric, and then we turn 2 iron ingots from our blacksmiths into weighted pressure plates. We put the aforementioned weighted pressure plates right here in front of our dispensers, and then, considering that I put all of these blocks a little bit too far over before, I spend a little bit of time making sure that the blocks land on the weighted pressure plates, which, by the way, aligns them even better with the blocks next door because they don't have that pixel-wide carpet layer. Every 10 blocks of cobblestone that weighted pressure plate detects, it's going to add to an output from a redstone signal, which we can display using redstone lamps. Now, I might need to brush up on my redstone a little bit to make this a vertical tower indicator next to this cobblestone, but the cobblestone here is now stuff that we can swipe if we want to, and we get ourselves blocks of cobblestone that we can put back in the system very easily. And it's super expensive to do, so I'm probably only going to do that with the cobblestone, but the fact that it can be done in the first place, absolutely mind-blowing, and we're probably going to use iron pressure plates to keep track of all of the other resources here as well. This is also, by the way, a really great way of standing in front of this and having a block immediately transferred to your head. So now really I have to decide what's going in this storage system in the first place, which is honestly the difficult part. So I've got cobblestone, I've got wood, I've got grass because I collect so much grass and I end up using that as like a placeholder block basically for all of the crafting and stuff we do. We're going to have a crafting area over here. We're going to need a couple of other bits and pieces as we go through crafting. I'll probably end up stashing some resources in block form, like the iron blocks, which we can then easily craft down into the components we need, like, you know, iron ingots, redstone dust from redstone blocks, and that kind of thing. But really, it's just going to be a matter of grinding our way through these ingredients, which I'm probably going to end up doing on today's Twitch livestream. I'd also love to have a better way of getting hold of bone meal, but luckily, one bone meal seems to grow an azalea pretty easily. To get the bone meal that I do have, because composters don't work, I ended up just having to spend a night running around killing skeletons, and the following morning, I did end up getting ambushed by a skeleton horse trap, or at least I saw it coming and decided to trigger it anyway, because I wanted to see how I fared against the skeleton horses, which it turned out actually pretty well. One of the skeletons even dropped a spyglass, but the less said about that, the better, really. But I think the time has finally come to set up a nether portal and go to the nether. And while I thought initially that we were probably going to be remaking a ruined nether portal, now that we have a lava farm, I'm thinking a little bit differently. I think we build up the portal frame out of lava sources, we flood the entire thing to turn them into obsidian, and we go to the nether in style from the comfort of our own base. Unfortunately, that's going to mean farming a little bit more iron, since the only way I can actually move the lava around is by getting a bucket, and occasionally, because the crafting recipe sees that I'm standing at an angle, I end up making shears instead of buckets. Oh no. We'll find some sort of use for the shears, but there we go, we got ourselves some buckets finally. And issues like that is why I'm making this a 10-block obsidian portal and not 14. After a lot of time, a lot of crafting, and far too many wasted lava buckets than I care to admit, it's time to hop up to the top of this tower and throw in our last lava source. Gonna do my best to line this up, and whoop, there it goes, and it's in. Okay, great. Finally, we should be able to finish this project up and get our nether portal lit. First of all, we've got to grab some more seagrass so that we can flood the top of the obsidian there. Throughout this process, I haven't been entirely certain if we would end up replacing one of the lava source blocks in there if we ended up throwing something else in. So I have a feeling that we're probably going to create some kind of backboard here that I can throw the seagrass against, like this, and then we're just going to break that block, which should, there we go, flood the last two with water and turn them into obsidian. Which means that we can now start to rebuild the landscape a little bit here as we take down the remainder of the dirt blocks from this, and we've got ourselves a full nether portal frame. I think I need to go and grab the fire charge that we got from the ruined portal over there, though, because otherwise we're going to have to wait a little while for this to light, and I am impatient to go to the nether. And right here is our fire charge. We've even got a chicken that we can use as a taxi back, because honestly, it's actually quite a pain getting over here from our village, so at least we can make it over the tree line this way. Oh my goodness, what a production that was. And I've just, well, I guess I can move the fire. Can I do that? Yes, okay, thank goodness for that. I thought for a second, because I thought the fire charge was in my offhand and I was just going to put down the chicken. Turns out I just used the fire charge and the chicken disappeared, which is fine, because there's still eggs everywhere. But we have one more thing we need to do before we can go to the nether, because the dispenser's ability to move items around makes automatic crafting possible. So all I should need to do is grab something I can use to switch on the dispenser. Let's use the last of these iron pressure plates, actually, because I haven't got enough redstone together for the torches yet. And if we step onto this pressure plate to activate the dispenser, there we go. We get 5 gold helmets, and we will need 5 because each gold helmet still only has 1 durability. So if I take any damage while I'm in the nether, full damage, doesn't matter, we will end up getting attacked by piglins afterwards. But it's time, folks, after all of this hard work, time to take a holiday. Let's go through to the nether and see what we've got going on here. There we go, it's our advancement, and I don't believe it. We are directly on top of a nether fortress. I could not have had better luck with this. The nether fortress is also right next to a soul sand valley, and thankfully none of the lava is coming down on my head. So, mission accomplished. We are here in the nether and we have found a nether fortress. Because, of course, if we want to continue the progression of Minecraft, the next stage in our journey is to find end portal frames inside the loot chests that spawn with a nether fortress. And I am incredibly worried about this step, not least because it means tangling with some of the nether's mobs. I think we should be able to hop down here, and if we break through the fences on this side, we may end up being able to walk into this nether fortress without taking too much damage from anything else. else. And the entire time I was doing that, there was an entrance right here that I completely failed to spot. Plus, there is a loot chest right here. I do want to give myself an easy route back up to the roof of this nether fortress where our portal is, but let's see if our first chest here... Oh, yep, I figured that was going to happen. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I don't think I've taken any on-camera deaths in this series so far. I did die once. I think I drowned at some point, or maybe got attacked by a mob whilst I was trying to collect string and that kind of stuff. Anyway, we should be able to now go back there where all the falling blocks, including hopefully an end portal frame, should be waiting for us. Now I do have to keep an eye out for the piglins though, because they'll be mad at me. And yes, we do have an end portal frame. Fantastic. Let's take that back to the overworld right away before we risk losing it. So the trick to end portal frames in this snapshot, one of the trolliest things they have done, is instead of Eyes of Ender pointing your way to the stronghold, you actually receive end portal frames, which you have to throw up into the air, and then they will point in the vague direction of the stronghold. And normally you would have to mine these out from the block space they occupy, but thanks to the discoveries we have made in this series, we're able to pick one up right away, because all we had to do is toss it onto something that was going to make sure it didn't snap to the block grid, and we can use this to determine the direction to the stronghold. So I think maybe in tomorrow's episode, we might try and gather a few more end portal frames. We'll store them in our storage system over here, and from there, we might be able to find our way to the stronghold. But folks, I think that is where we're going to wrap up this episode of our April Fool's Snapshot weirdness. Thank you so much for watching this episode of 22W13 one block at a time. My name has been Pixlriffs. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you folks soon. Take care. Bye for now.